Hello everyone, welcome to a Blender tutorial video. I thought I'd make another one, and in this video I will show you how to create or simulate a depth map effect on your meshes. So this could be useful for something like this, and this is a bunch of trim sheets that I was modeling, and I was using this technique to create like dark areas on the model. If you don't like the ambient occlusion, then you can use this, which is the displacement. And you can also use this to uh, bake the displacement map of or for these meshes. The only disadvantage is that this only works on flat surfaces, and they must and mostly angles that faces the literal x, y, and z axis. So in this case, this is facing up or in the z-axis. Okay, so you can also bake this detail or shader effect as a texture map, which of course will serve as the displacement. And let's try the AO first. So ambient occlusion, and connect this to the base color, and then control the intensity using the color ramp. So we're going to just use this as a baseline to compare it to the displacement. So AO, the closer stuff are together to generate the dark areas or the darkness. So that's how ambient occlusion works. I normally turn on only local, so it only affects itself when I'm trying to bake this to the texture detail, as a texture map, not texture detail. Okay. So for the displacement, what we're going to do is let's just demonstrate it on a cube. So new, and then we're going to use the geometry node and then the position. Okay, so we're starting to see the threshold of the displacement, or the lowest threshold kind of in this area. And then converter, separate the XYZ axis. And in this, since we're facing the Z axis direction, we're going to use the Z axis like that. And then we can control the intensity of the color using the color ramp, and also control the location of the zero displacement threshold. So with displacement, black means no or black means no displacement, and the brighter the pixel gets, the more displacement that you will get. Okay, so to control the location of this threshold right here, this line, we can add math and using the add function. Not in this place, in front of the separate XYZ node. Now we can control the location of the zero threshold of the displacement, and then for the intensity of the color, we can use the color ramp node. Okay, so let's just arrange this and Control C, and then go back to our material here, and then Control V. Okay, so let's preview the material and just set the color ramp to default and adjust the location of the displacement threshold, zero displacement threshold. And then with this, you can now affect or modify the intensity using the color ramp node. So to be a little bit more, to add a little bit more control with the color ramp, you can just go to the color stop using, or I guess you can pick it, or use this. So the black one is the 0 number, and the second one is the 1 number, which is the white color step. So you can use this to switch between the color step, and then here in the position you can affect their position. And to make it a little bit more sensitive or slow down the increment, press shift, then click and drag with the mouse. So without the shift, this is very hard unless you, and with the manual, if you manually enter the number, of course it's kind of a hassle, unless that's the last resort, manually entering the number. So we can just press shift and drag. There we go, and make it brighter. Okay, and see the effect of the shader. Okay, so with this layer here, we can consider this as a displacement layer. Then you can add it on top of your base color or the diffuse. And here, for example, here, you can put it here. And in the A node, that will be your, for example, your base color. And then you can multiply it and maybe just use something like 0.7, 0.6, or 0.8. There we go. So it's just an example. You can even combine the AO if you want more of those, but you have to, so you can set it like this, AO first. So it can be displacement or AO first. And here again is your base color, your saturated color for the faces of the mesh. You can actually just use vertex color to do those and not even paint it to make it faster. Okay. The only disadvantage of using it with ingons is that you can soften the vertex color. It will become like washed out. So yeah. So with AO you can probably just do something like 0.4 and then just modify this to your taste and the look of your model. So this is what it looks like. So this is the AO and this is our displacement or simulated displacement. So from here, so this is probably the darkest. So 0 displacement, and then from this point here, as it goes up and the pixel gets brighter, you will have your displaced geometry, which is this. And then in this area, it goes down again to create that cavity. So that's how displacement works. Okay, so you can bake this. Uh, you can just plug it to the uh, excuse me, base color, or you can use emission shader and bake this as an emission. Just so you don't have any, just to make sure that you don't pollute the bake map with any other influences like diffuse or the indirect direct lighting. Uh, you can just use this, or probably just use the base color, and then in the bake in cycles, you can use diffuse and here turn off direct and indirect and just bake the color. Okay, so you will get this, your displacement map. So it doesn't work with organic full body organic surfaces where there's twists and turns. There's no way to simulate that or do that in Blender yet with the baking. There is you can I've tried to simulate it with normal map, but normal map works. I forgot that normal map works in different way. So for example, in this surface here, which kind of curves. So normal map for each face goes like this, whereas displacement kind of figures out the lowest area and then goes from here, which is the zero displacement, to there, which is our displacement value increasing. But with normal map, for each of the face orientation, you get this. But with displacement, you just get this from this surface here, from this lower surface here, and not from the sides of the faces. So yeah, that experiment failed. But if you were to just do it using this is really great for baking the displacement map on flat surfaces or angles that face directly towards the z, x, and y axis. So if it faces on the x axis, you just use the x axis and separate xyz node, or in the y-axis use the y-axis, and in this case our z-axis. Okay, so you bake that and you get the displacement, and you can also use it for creating dark areas for the diffuse to make it just like we did here. And when you bake the base color with this layers, with the AO and the displacement, you will get, of course, these added effects. Okay, so yeah, and if you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. This is the video for now, and there'll be more in the future. I'm not overly fond of repeating Blender tutorials from other content creators because I really can't compete. So I'd be making like the bevel, like the bridge this edge to bridge to this edge, like you see on TikTok. So there's already a lot of those. So I want to make Blender tutorials that are, kind of not out there yet. Okay, so yeah. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.